Yo, what's up? A couple weeks ago I made a tier list describing how much fun every team would be to actually build a dynasty with in college football 25. And this video is pretty much a breakdown of why I chose every single one of these teams as an S tier and why you should actually rebuild these teams in NCAA 25. And at the end of the video I'm going to be randomly selecting one of these teams to actually build a dynasty with once the game comes out. But yeah, let's not waste any more time and let's get right into the video. So let's start off with the first team that I saw on my S tier list, which is the Memphis Tigers. There are a lot of reasons why I put Memphis in the S tier. First of all, Memphis jerseys are absolutely fantastic. Just look at these jersey combinations, like they are really great designs, and honestly, yeah, who doesn't like these designs on Memphis? Memphis is also still in a group of 5 conference, so you can eventually work their way up into like a Power 5, either put them in the SEC, you can put them in the Big 12 or whatever conference you want to put them in. Their atmosphere is also really cool. Like, this is their stadium and honestly it looks pretty good for a smaller team. They also have good traditions for when they score, like they have the siren going off after a touchdown or when they score. So yeah, this is one of the reasons why I put Memphis in the S tier and why I think you should use them in NCAA 25. And alright, coming up next on the list we have Sam Houston State. Sam Houston State is one of the many teams that were actually added into the FBS recently. Back before they joined the FBS, Sam Houston State was a dominant powerhouse in the FCS, and they won multiple national championships while in the FCS. However, in 2023, Sam Houston State first joined the FBS, and they struggled. They went 2-9, which is not surprising for a new team that's coming into the FBS level. So this is one of the reasons why I put them in S tier. Try to rebuild that team to be as big as it possibly can. I think it would just be really fun to use a new team coming into the FBS, and you can try to do whatever you want with them. That is why I put them in the S tier, and that's also another reason why I think you should use them. Up next, we have the Northwestern Wildcats. Ever since 2020, the Wildcats have been the bottom tier Big Ten school. I feel like this team just needs an extra boost. Northwestern is a team that's really trying to make a stand for themselves. I see that they're actually trying to build a new stadium. However, it's not actually going to be in the college football game, and they're just going to use the regular old Ryan Field or whatever. I just think this team just needs an extra push, and I feel like it'll be fun to rebuild. You're already in a Power 5 conference, the Big Ten. I feel like it won't be too hard to recruit. However, you still gotta go up against teams like Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, etc. So yeah, I feel like it would be a fun team to rebuild to try and not make them the bottom tier Big Ten school. So yeah, this is why I put them in S tier. Alright, up next we got Kennesaw State. Much like Sam Houston State, I put Kennesaw State in the S tier mainly because they're a new team coming into the FBS, so it's pretty much mandatory to rebuild them to make them the face of college football. Honestly, other than that, I really don't know anything else about Kennesaw State. If I really remember anything, is that they weren't really too good in the FCS, but they had a lot of people going to their school, and they had enough money to join FBS. So that is why I put them in S tier and why I think you should use them as well. Up next we have Jacksonville State, another one of these newer teams into the FBS level. Jacksonville State, one of those teams that's in the South, so you will have fun recruiting. Like I said before, it's one of these newer teams, much like Sam Houston State and Kennesaw State. I put Jacksonville State in the S tier mainly because it's a newer team. However, I also think their atmosphere is pretty cool. Like, this is their stadium. I think it looks pretty good for a smaller school. They have these nice decent red jerseys. I don't think they look that bad. So yeah, these are the reasons why I think you should use them in NCAA 25. Alright, coming up next we got the Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii. So the Rainbow Warriors have been a weird team. They have struggled, but they have also seen some brighter spots within their football program. I put them in S tier mainly because I think it would just be fun to use this team for whatever reason. They had renovations to their stadium, and honestly I'm not sure what it's going to look like in NCAA 25. I'm not sure if they're going to use their older stadium with the high school bleachers or wherever the heck this is, or they're going to use the new stadium render that's coming out real soon. But however, I put Hawaii in the S tier mainly because of their jerseys, their traditions. So yeah, I think Hawaii will be a fun school that you can possibly use, and Polynesian recruits are pretty cool as well. So yeah, I put them in the S tier and I think you should use them as well. Alright, up next we got Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina has done a really good job adapting into the FBS level. They've had multiple winning seasons. They've done a really good job recruiting and whatnot, but I'll be honest, I really put them in S tier mainly because of their jerseys and of course their field. I mean, look at this field. This field looks fantastic. It looks amazing. Who doesn't want to use this kind of field for their team? Like I said, they have great jersey combinations. They're in the group of 5, so you can eventually move them up to a Power 5 conference. But yeah, Coastal Carolina will be a fun team to use, and honestly this is the team that I really hope to pick for my first dynasty in the game. So yeah, hopefully I'll get this team. But yeah, and alright, up next we got Eastern Michigan. Much like Coastal Carolina, I picked Eastern Michigan mainly because of their jerseys and of course the gray field. This field looks cool. I mean, it's interesting, you know, it's unique. So like, yeah, gray field, cool jerseys. It's in the MAC conference as well, which is arguably one of, if not the worst conference in college football. So yeah, I think this would be a fun team to use, and I think you should also use this team as well. All right, and up next we got the Clemson Tigers. Haha, I'm just kidding, guys. I honestly just put Clemson in the S tier because it's my favorite team. Go Tigers. But yeah, I only put Clemson as a joke. So yeah, let's move on to Boise State. And all right, Boise State. So Boise State, everyone knows the iconic blue field and how beautiful it actually is. You know, the scenery of the stadium and how good it actually looks. However, you know, Boise State is one of those teams that have one of the highest winning percentages in college football. However, they don't have a single national championship trophy, which is honestly not too insane to me because, you know, they're still a group of 5 team. But, you know, with Boise State's long tradition of winning and them not having a single national championship, it's kind of crazy to me. So that is one of the reasons why I put them in S tier. But also, their jerseys are absolutely fantastic. I love the blue and orange. You know, they have a black combination and whatnot. They're also bringing in a good roster. They're adding a bunch of transfers to the team, so that's going to make them really fun to use for the first year. But other than that, yeah, Boise State, you know, long tradition of winning. If you rebuild them, you can actually try to get them a national championship trophy. So yeah, I think that would be really fun to use. And yeah, Boise State S tier. I think this is the team you should absolutely use and have fun with. And all right, next on the list we got the UMass Minutemen. UMass has absolutely been one of the worst teams in college football. You know, they've moved around from the MAC conference and now I think they're still an independent. So they're just really, really bad. And I really think this is a team that should be rebuilt. In NCAA 14, a lot of people rebuilt this team for fun because, you know, it's a bad team and you try to make them good. So I think this is a very, very, you know, good team to use for a rebuild, and I think you should use this team just for the fact that they're really bad and you can try to make them good. Okay, moving down the list we got the South Florida Bulls. You know, my man Jeff Scott coached down there for a little minute. He didn't do so good. Then USF has been struggling for the past couple of years now. Of course, everyone remembers they almost pulled the biggest upset of the century, almost beating Alabama. That would have been special. However, I think USF is going to be a great team to rebuild. Not only do they have great jerseys, and I think their combinations are special, but they play in a cool stadium like they play in Raymond James Stadium. But actually in the future they're getting their own stadium, but it won't be done till 2027. But yeah, I think USF would be a great team to rebuild. It's in Florida, so you can get your Florida recruits, other Southern recruits as well. But yeah, USF should be a fun team to rebuild, and I think this is going to be a great team to actually use. All right, up next here we got Appalachian State. Appalachian State has a lot of cool things going on in that university. They have great jersey combinations, so like I love the all yellows, the all black, but they also have a great stadium. I love the backdrop on the stadium. It looks fantastic. And Appalachian State, they're just a fun team to use. They're also a little bit of a newer team to the FBS. They've been there for a couple years now, but they're still kind of new. A lot of people rebuild them in college football revamp, so I also think it will have the same effect in college football 25 that a lot of people will rebuild this team. So yeah, I think it'll be fun to rebuild, and you should also have fun to rebuild this team. All right, up next we got the UAB Blazers, one of my personal favorites. And man, UAB has a crazy story. They were a really bad team in the early 2010s. For that, they actually got disbanded as a football program. Like the university completely shut it down, and they thought that UAB wasn't making enough sufficient funds for the school, so that's why they shut it down. However, the program was reinstated. They've also won multiple conference championships, and a lot of good things have happened to this university since they've been, you know, reinstated. So I think it's a great story. I think they're a team that's on the come up. They play in a cool stadium as well. You know, it's decently big for a group of 5 team, and I think this is going to be a very fun team to use. And I think you should also use them as well. So yeah, UAB S tier. And all right, up next we have the Akron Zips. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Akron has one of the worst winning percentages in college football. This team just needs a complete rebuild. They're just at the bottom of the bottom, and like it really can't get any worse than they are right now. I can't even remember the last time they actually won a bowl game, but I know it's probably been a minute since they won one. So I hope someone will actually rebuild this team, because I would definitely watch your series. So yeah, shout out Akron. You know, we need a complete rebuild, and I really hope someone uses this team, so that's why it's an S tier. And alright, the last team on the S tier list is the Oregon State Beavers. Alright, so there's a couple of reasons why I put Oregon State as an S tier. So Oregon State has been on a streak of bad luck lately. A couple years ago, they actually beat Florida in that bowl game, and they looked like they was on the come up. However, with the Pac-12 being not the Pac-12 anymore, and everyone has moved out of that conference, pretty sure Oregon and Washington State are the only 2 survivors of that conference, and I don't even think they have a conference right now, except for the Pac-2. But another reason why I put Oregon State as as an S tier is because the entire team pretty much left. Like, their head coach left, DJ Uyunglele left, like their running back also left, and a lot of other athletes have left that program. So I think it would be a fun program to rebuild, and it's just sad to see what happened to Oregon State. So yeah, that's why I put them in S tier. And alright, since we officially broke down every single S tier team, now it's going to be officially time to see which team will be selected for our NCAA 25 Dynasty Series. Let's see who it is. Alright guys, and it's finally time to see which team is going to be selected for our NCAA 25 Dynasty. Let's do it. The Memphis Tigers will be our first team to be selected for our NCAA 25 Dynasty. I can't wait to use them. And with that, that officially concludes my top teams to have a Dynasty with. I'm really looking forward to see the Dynasty deep dive that's coming out real soon from EA. Of course, they're going to give us a lot more information on what Dynasty is actually going to be like. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for that. But for those who have made it this far, I really appreciate everyone for watching. If you want to see more content like this, you can like and subscribe this video to let me know that you guys actually want to see more stuff like this. But with that pretty much concludes everything that I have to say about this. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.